everyone, V the Amazing Greek here. Today we're going to be making something that I was inspired to make after watching this last Sunday, The Walking Dead. A freaking awesome show. I mean, this show was made for people like me, you know. If you don't like the show or, you know, something, please don't leave stupid comments. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's an awesome show. I love it. And no, I don't want Shane to be killed off. I love that character. But anyway, when Shane got caught on the bus, if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, Shane was on the bus. The zombies had locked him in there. He was trying to stop them. And what he did was he cut his hand, smeared some blood to get them to lick the blood and then have access to their head. Now what they were using, they were just a little knife like this. I know Rick, when I looked it up online, he's using a Gerber. But basically a pocket knife had 3 1/4 inch blade, and that's what they were doing to stab in the head to stop the zombies. Now when Shane did it, he killed one, got his knife back, was holding the door, and he smeared a little blood, and then a female zombie got there, and when he stuck it in the top of her head, he couldn't get it out. And when the zombie fell, there went his weapon. And then he was defenseless, and he was just stuck on the bus. And as we know, zombies aren't going to stop. So what we're going to make today is a trench spike. Not a knife, a trench spike. And what I'm going to be using is a spare piece of round metal stock that I got. I'm going to cut it off right here. We're going to grind us a point on the end of it. It'll be circular, and this will be nothing more than a puncturing tool. You know, for a living target, we'll say, up into the rib cage, it'll slip between the ribs, up through the skull here, penetrate. It might be a little easier to retrieve than, say, something like this. You know, yes, this knife has a wedge-shaped blade and all that, but when you think about it, you know, the circular, just the point, it lends itself to the mind that it'll probably be easier to retrieve. So we're going to end up with, say, from about here up, and then what we're going to do, I have here a piece of scrap I had saved. This is a tube hanger. In industrial situations, they got water pipes, airlines or something. They sit in here and they're supported from the ceiling, and that's what this is. And it makes the perfect hand guard. So what I'll do is see where I'm comfortable, you know, with my hand being here, give myself a little bit room for glove wear, things like that. I'll pop a hole in the top and the bottom, the diameter of this. And now this is going to be a welding project. There will be welding involved in this, so anyone that doesn't have a welder, I'm sorry. There's probably other ways to do it without using a welder. I was going to originally make the spike itself out of all thread, which is just a piece of metal with threads. But even if you sharpen the tip, you put this in something, you got all these teeth to, you know, try to pull out. Now that's going to defeat the purpose of what we're doing. So we'll use this. We'll set it up in here, weld it, and then we'll have a very simple weapon, very effective weapon for puncturing with a nice little tip on it. So I'll gonna measure, make some drill holes in here, drill some holes in here, and then show you how I'm gonna set it up. Show you a little bit of how I'm grinding this tip down, and shouldn't take long to make something like this, like I said, with the welder. So stick around and we'll see how it does. I'm gonna put a little bit of a bevel on this to help it go in the hole when I drill it in the handguard. This is the base side. Okay, what I've done, I measured this diameter right here is 1/2 inch, so I wanted to give myself room. I measured from the end and came up the same amount on each end so that when I cut it, it'll be even. At the flat, beginning of the flat to here, I've got about 1 inch, 1.1 inches. Then that'll give me, once I put my hole, I'll have room on the back, enough material to hold real good, be strong. And after I cut these, I'll round them off a little bit on the grinder, so don't have no sharp edges and stuff, nick myself. And that's where we're at right now. Measured same distance from the back side to make sure that everything's nice and even. Pretty much right on the line. That's not too bad. I just want to say one thing. Here's the scrap piece that I cut off. Don't throw stuff like this away. This right here will make a perfect handguard for a small knife. Cut this out, put your slot, be freaking perfect for something like that. So, you know, if you got the space, don't waste and throw stuff away. You'll never know when you'll need it. Let me explain one thing. When I'm cutting through this line, I'm going down and tracing over the line. I'm slowly, not too deep at first. You don't want to overload your tool or damage your cutting wheel. So go down. It's like cutting through something real thick with a knife. Just work your way, work your way. That way nothing gets overheated. You don't damage something or digging into this tool and it kick back. You don't want to hurt yourself. That's just a, for somebody who's never used power tools too much, that's kind of what I'm doing while I'm doing like what I'm doing. Alright, so we've got this cut to fit how we want, getting ready to drill holes. Now, what I did was I used my square here, set it up for a 1/2 inch. And what I did was I ran a line across. What that'll do is when I drill my hole, when it's centered on this line, it'll give me a 1/4 inch of stock still here. So I'll have plenty. I don't have to worry about it, you know, breaking off or anything like that. I'll have a 1/4 inch of back plate. Now I measured the distance here and it was 1 7/32. So I'll set my square up half of that distance, which is 19 and a half, 30 seconds. We'll probably end up a little closer to 20, but we'll do our best. And then that way, this will be centered in our handle. And I'm going to have to do it with a hand drill, because my drill press does not, it's only a small one. It doesn't hold up to 1/2 inch, I don't believe. I'll try and see if it'll fit, but I don't think it will. Plus, I don't have a way to mount this in there, drilling a hole with this thing standing up. That'd be very unstable and unsafe. So I'll probably end up doing it with the hand drill and making the hole. And it won't matter if the hole is exactly, you know, if it gets wallered out a little bit, because I'm going to weld it in there. So we'll do the best we can, but that's how I'm setting this up to center this in here for anyone who doesn't have a whole lot of building experience. So that's what we're getting ready to do. Alright, so I got my square set up about 19 and a half. I'm going to make an intersection right there. That's our center. Now what we want to do is we'll take a punch and punch right there in the center, and what that'll help us do is not only to set our drill up and get it started, it'll help to locate it properly, the tip of that drill bit, and then we'll work our way through. Alright, being that this is a curved piece of metal, it's very difficult to set up in a traditional vise. This is the one I got from Lowe's probably a year and a half ago. The head swivels, and then it of course twists sideways like most of them do, so this is very handy for that. This type of vise also has the pipe grip on the bottom, but this comes in very handy with this. What I'm going to use to drill the hole is 1/2 inch variable speed drill. Got this at Harbor Freight. It was like 30 bucks. 1/2 inch chuck, holds the bigger stuff. So this is the first time I'm actually using this. It's a Drill Master. It's not the fanciest brand, but if it puts a drill bit through metal, that's what works. I'm not going to pay crazy just to drill a couple of freaking holes. I don't fall for the hype, but we'll see how it goes. Looks like right here it's got a either way, and it's got a catch to hold it if you want to put it high speed, so that's something. Alright, so I got my hole punch right here to help my bit catch. Hopefully it's not too much for this. Looks like my bit's gone. What the hell? Yeah, let's see. Being that it's that big a diameter, let me start with a pilot hole, get it going. I was hoping I could just start with a larger diameter, but the correct thing to do is to start with a smaller drill bit, because being that that diameter is as big as it is, the tip of the drill can't catch to get started. So we'll start with a smaller hole and work our way up. That's the correct way to do it. I was trying to save time. Alright, that's what it was. My fault, kids. Supposed to be showing you the right way to do things. So 1/4 inch bit goes in, then we do the 1/2 inch bit. Much better, much better. Alright, now with drilling the hole, you could see that sometimes I would get more shavings than other. Without being on a drill press, it's hard to know if you're exactly lined up and everything. So sometimes you don't see a lot of progress or a lot of chips. Just slightly move your bit and you'll see that it starts cutting better. That's because now you're making contact correctly. Also, as I got to the end of the hole, you notice I started getting pieces like this. When you start seeing this, back off just a little bit, because you're about to punch right through the work here. You don't want to, slam yourself or have the drill pull you in. So you start seeing these little slivers start coming up. That means you're about to pop through the hole, and you need to back off a little bit. You're almost through with the hole. So just a little something. I'm going to change the bit and we'll drill the 1/2 inch hole in there. Alright, now we're going to finish the hole with the 1/2 inch bit. The drill is working very good so far, no problems, not getting hot, nothing like that. The chuck seems very in line true. I don't have a lot of wobble at the end, kind of like I do the Skilled desktop model I got over here from Lowe's. Sometimes the end of the drill is not very true, and that's a little disappointing, but $100, I guess that's what you get, but still sad. So here we go. Again, this will start chopping away very quickly. Towards the end, when you got these bigger bits, sometimes it'll, you need to be ready, because this drill is going to twist in your hand. If you just kind of holding it like a little, you know what I'm saying. Your weak grip, this thing can twist. You can hurt your wrist very badly. So keep that in mind. Hold tight. We should be able to, yep, just a little filing to get that burr off the inside there, and we can start working on our spike tip. Alright, what I'm using to file that clearance, it's just got that lip on it from where I drilled. Circular file, just go around your edges, knock the burr off on the inside, then you slip right in. Now, what you need to be careful of, drilling metal on the inside here, you still have where the metal pressed out, sharp stuff. So you want to use a flat, clean that up, because you just don't want to get cut on that. You take the 15 seconds, clean it up. That way you don't regret it later, get all chopped up on the inside of your hand. Alright, so we've filed off the burrs. This now slides into here. What we'll do is, before we weld it, we'll leave just a little bit sticking out here on the bottom so we can get our weld bead around here and everything. I guess you could possibly maybe extend this out maybe 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch if you wanted, like to hit down like a glass break or something. But I mean, the whole thing is this. That's what this is a puncturing tool. So I don't really, hell, I don't know. That might be a good idea. Just have a butt striker. I think we might do that just for the heck of it. So that's what it's looking like so far. I'm thinking as I grab this, it's kind of thin. I may take a piece of wood. I've got some wood that from trimmings of the yard and stuff. I might just take that bit, drill through a piece, and maybe fashion me a little handle. I don't know. That's a possibility. It's that, or have to cord wrap this, and still then it'll only give me a little bit of grip. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on that yet. But that's where we are right now. Alright, so I'm working on the spike. Here's what I got so far. I'm going slowly here on my side wheel, little by little, working it down. Now I don't want to get this too hot. I don't want to make the metal weak or anything and get too much heat here. So I'm just little by little, little by little. The angle you want to do, it's up to you. I'm gonna make mine more like this than like this, just a little bit steeper. It's your choice how you want to do it. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here. Put my earphones on. This wheel here, I believe it's a 60 grit. I could go at 80 and take more material off. What I'll probably do is after I finish here on this wheel, I'll go to my belt portion over here. It's 120 grit, and I'll probably just make it a little bit smoother to finish it off. Alright, that's kind of what I want right there. I'm going to dip this in my cooling water, and we'll continue on. Get a little look here. Huh? Not too bad. Alright, looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to take the roughness of this surface here, make it nice and smooth with my 120 grit. After I do that, I'll probably take emery cloth and by hand make that just as smooth as I can. Yeah, it's nice and smooth now. I don't feel the ridges I felt before from the 60 grit wheel. Like I said, I'll take my emery cloth and just buff that out a little bit. The less resistance it has, the better it'll be at performing its job. Alright, now that I got the spike pretty much finished, I'm going to round these corners off a little bit with the grinding wheel, and then I'll finish them off with the file. That way, like I said, no catchy edges or anything like that. It'll be a little bit nicer looking. decided to do something else for the handle. I'm not going to do a wood handle. What I did was I marked in here the distance. I'm taking 2 pieces of conduit. One that fits pretty good on there, not a lot of slack, and then this one into another one, not a lot of slack. Then that way I have something with a little more girth that I can grab. Let's see, we'll put this here. Again. There we go. That's with a little bit of the material at the bottom. Then when I go to weld this, I'll weld this here, probably weld it on top also, and then I'll just tack weld the tubing here, the conduit. It's galvanized, hopefully it'll weld okay. Sometimes galvanized get a little bit of splatter, but I'll tack weld it just so it don't rattle around. Then that'll give me a good grip instead of this tiny little thing here, you know. Got a little bit more control. If I wanted to, and this is I might do this. If I put this in the vice grip there, the clamp, in my vise, sorry, and slowly start to squeeze it, I can turn this circular shape into an oval shape, and then it'll, instead of just being round, give it a little length and thin down the side. That might be I'm gonna try that just to see, because I can cut one of these in 15 seconds if I don't like it, and I'm gonna see how that feels. I think I like that better than just round, so we're gonna give that a shot. That's how I'm gonna do the handle. Then I'll weld it up, and it'll be done. I'll show you the finished product. Let me give this squeeze a try and see how that works out for us. Alright, so that worked out pretty good. I squeezed it in the vise, gave it a little bit more of an oval shape. Fits the hand really nice. One thing I had to do is where it fits in here, where this starts to curve, I took over back on the belt sander, put this at an angle, and just kind of took a little bit off the inside there, so that when it fits in there, it's not creating a gap in the back. So that's going to work out pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and tack weld everything up, put my bar, weld the base up, weld the top, and then I'm going to tack the handle where it feels good. And if I wanted, I could cord wrap that also afterwards. No big deal. So that's what we're getting ready to do, and we're almost finished with this project. One thing, let me say. This project right here, also, the way we're going about making this with the bar, if you wanted to, you could go a little bit smaller scale and make something like this if you wanted. No blade, nothing. Just a handle, piece of steel, and make you a knuckle duster. This is simple stuff. You know, I made this years ago before, you know, it's just something that sits around, but something like that, you can hit pretty solid. The bar itself, that it's in your palm, stops the metal from hurting you, you know, so you can just, you're not going to feel anything, you know, but the receiver from that will feel something. So just an idea, you know, what we're doing here is knuckle duster making also. If you simply put this in here, chop it off, boom, now all of a sudden you can pop somebody real good. Non-lethal type of weapon, depending where you hit somebody, you know. Of course, you hit them in the temple, you know, just repeatedly, more than likely you're gonna, you know, it will be lethal. So it's something to keep in mind. This project can convert over to this, real simple. Alright, so we've welded our spike into the guard. Then we tack welded our handle in place. The internal one does not rattle. It's pretty badass. We'll have to find a way to test this later. I don't know exactly how we'll test it. I guess I could try maybe to a piece of plywood, something like that maybe. It's still a little warm, that's why I got the glove on. Plus, with the glove, my hand fits fine. Typical work glove you can get Lowe's, Home Depot, no big deal. And that's it, trench spike. The one thing I will say, this is something I wouldn't carry it in my car. You know, there's potentially illegal item to be carrying around. Sheath like for this wouldn't take nothing but a real simple leather, just something stitched or riveted for this to just slide into, you know, and it sit there. Wouldn't really need a guard for it. It'd go in there pretty deep. But that's it right there. That simple. I made this. What time is it? We're looking at, it's about 4:46. With me stopping to show you all the setups and recording everything. This only took me really a couple, 3 hours, and I took a break to go, you know, wait for the kids on the bus and everything. So, one-day project, real simple. I wish the weld was a little better. I'm still getting used to that welder. I might need a new tip for it. It's a little flaky, but yeah, that's it. Trench spike. So, hand guard. Got the penetrating tip. Pretty cool. I've been wanting to make one of these for a while, and like I said, the Walking Dead episode just kind of pushed me in that direction. So that's pretty badass. I like it. That is pretty neat. I don't know if I'll cord wrap the handle or not. That might make it a bit too bulky a handle, but once it cools off and everything, I'll sand it just real nice, get any little rust spots or anything like that off, and we'll paint that just to stop any kind of rust, stuff like that from happening. So that's it. I hope you guys learned something, inspires you to make this. Like I said, it is a welding project, so you know, you needed a welder for this unless you find a better way to do it without a welder. That'd be cool. I'd like to see how you do that. So that's it. So thanks for watching. I'm V the Amazing Greek, and like it, comment, let me know what you think. Thanks a lot.